Hi everyone, can everyone hear me? Hey! You guys in the back?
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on a tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
The Klayre Avalon show, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, everybody. You might remember from the last show, or was it the last show? Must have been. I was talking about my upcoming doctor visit, or no, not the doctor visit, the X-ray. The X-ray visit after the doctor appointment. That's what it was. Got that all sorted out. Went down and holy fuck, that was a... If you're like me, you know that it is so few and far between where you get like a blood lab technician or an X-ray technician with any semblance of a sense of humor, right? Like they're so fucking robotic, these people. And bland, but I was lucky to have spent 5 minutes with an X-ray tech that had a bit of a sense of humor, so that was fun. So I booked follow up for my couple of weeks after that, with my doctor to discuss the results, and all that basically turned out to be was nothing more than suspicion confirmation, really, because I've known I've had these issues, or this issue rather, for quite some time. For fucking years, actually. But it never impeded my day-to-day, right? So I never really gave a fuck. And I still don't. So I go in just the other day for the X-ray follow-up. Have a conversation with my doctor. A little chat. I don't mind going to my doctor because, first of all, she's really nice, and she has the ability to smile and laugh. But she also doesn't use phrasing like could be or I think it is. Right? She's the kind of person where she does her homework and if something is what something is, she outright tells you. And I like that. Even though this X-ray follow-up was something that I was going into already knowing, when she, because it's my hips, right? And when she told me what was going on, because your hip is a ball and socket kind of situation, and mine mine don't rotate properly, which is where the pain is generating from. My ball and socket situation is basically like putting a shoe in a clothes dryer and hitting go, right? And because of that misrotation, the ball part, my leg, is rubbing on the other bone and having edges created on it, like water wearing away at a rock. So it sounded like she was telling me that what I was facing, or what I'm dealing with, is leaning toward arthritis. So as she was talking to me about everything that she went over, or that she found rather, I said just that. I said, are we talking about down the road, if something doesn't change, I will have arthritis, or you're telling me I do have arthritis? She's like, no, you do have it. I'm like, okay, good enough. Was I worried? Wasn't before I went in, and still not. So yeah, it's just nice to have a fucking answer, right? I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what it was. Simply put. And now I know. So whatever. So she's got me on a prescription for some meds. So I'll pick that up tomorrow. Tomorrow being March 8th, depending on when you see this. I don't know. Or hear it. I'm gonna try and not be here for... What time is it? Fuck me. 7 before the hour in Toronto tonight. Or this afternoon. Drive time in the big city. Gonna try and be out of here in 40 minutes, but I didn't exactly start at 3:30. So we'll see how it goes, because I got some stuff to do. One of those things is going through sifting through a whole bunch of music and songs and shit. Because I mentioned, I think I mentioned the open stage thing that I'm doing at a drag club downtown in a couple of weeks. I don't have to do it in a couple of weeks. They do it every Tuesday at this one club. I'm just choosing to do it in 2 weeks. I've been building up to this for 3 years. This is what I keep talking about. So off I fucking go. I have a short list of songs. I whittled down as many songs as I can think of that I do into a short list, because I mean, like, holy fuck, I do like almost literally the top 40 radio or the Billboard chart version of performance, right? I don't stick to one thing. So my performance catalog of music is kind of vast. How I keep it all straight is even bewildering to me, but here we are. Now, am I saying this is an open stage thing, right? I don't know what's going to come of it, and I'm not even sure if I want anything to come of it. Right? I did it a number of years ago. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing then. I just went headlong into it. Even though I've only done it that one time, I'm much more ready now than I was then. Very much so. In many ways, I've got I've got much more music. It almost happened by accident back then. Because I threw the music together on a whim. I had no look whatsoever. I think I told you about the black and white polka dot dress. Right? I looked like fucking shit. I'm going to turn this down so almost nobody can hear it. Because I'm trying to train myself to do the show with no musical accompaniment. So yeah, I've got much more music to draw from. My head is much more in the game than it was those years ago when I did it the first time. When I am on stage, I know what I want to look like now. I'm not just going to pull something out of my ass and go for it. I do one thing really well, and because of the performance that I want to put forth, what I want to do visually, or I should say what I already do visually, is going to serve my style of drag quite well. Like I said on the other show, I'm a rocker girl, right? I'm not a goth girl. I'm not a punk girl. Although rock and pump can shake hands, I suppose. But yeah, I like to look broken, like disheveled, right? And I know how to translate, because I've taught myself how to do it through the music that I listen to. I can marry my look and the music together seamlessly and portray, or tell rather, a story. Or better yet, tell the story that the music is trying to tell you. And a lot of it is storytelling. Drag is a story. Drag is many things to many people, including the performers. Depending on who the performer is. In my case, it's true. And I'm not. And I think I said this on the last show too. A lot of the music I listen to does have a message, right? These rock songs by varying bands and so on. No. Have I lived all the stories and messages put forth in these songs? Of course not. No. No, not for a million. Absolutely not. But if you watch me perform, I'm gonna fucking make you believe that I lived that story yesterday. Right? I mean, for God's sake, I've played techno mixes on the show before, and I've cried live on camera during a techno mix, right? So bring that to a stage to me is easy. Even though I'm saying all this, damn well knowing that I'm going to go on that fucking stage and be nervous out of my head, right? I'm going to be fucking petrified. But who was it in recent years? Comedian Bill Burr during an interview once said of stand-up comedy. He said, "If you go on stage and you're not nervous, you're fucking doing it wrong." And Bill Burr is one of the best comics out there. So yeah, it's kind of a neat little nugget of unintentional advice to have in your pocket, right? So yeah, we shall see. I had a bit of buyer's remorse on it. Literally almost the day after I decided to take the plunge and look into this open stage thing downtown. So I had a conversation with my partner about it, because what slammed itself into my head was the idea that, yes, even though I did it all those years ago, that one time, this is all these years ahead, like since that. I was in my mid-30s back then, and I'm in my mid-40s now, right? So I had a bit of a pep talk, or well, an impromptu pep talk from my partner about that. And she's like, what? There's an age limit on this? There's a shelf life? I said, well, no. So I'm just going to go and do it, and come what may. Right? I can't think about it. Because if I think about it, I'm going to ruin myself. I just have to go and turn off my mind. And just fucking do the songs. I'm inspired by people. I talk about like, I'm inspired by people who are still in pop culture, for want of a better phrase, club culture and stuff, right? What was her name? Vivacious, I believe it was. A 40-some-year-old New York club kid from the from the club kid scene in New York back in the 80s and 90s, and a very small handful of those kids from back then in the 90s have gone on to successful careers in media and writing and so on. Not really doing much clubbing anymore. Not that I'm aware of. They might, but I don't know. I know one of them still does go out. He has a day job, and he's gainfully employed, right? And he still goes out, and he also does handmade accessories. I think he's got an Etsy page or something that he sells these on. Ernie Glam, if you're wondering, one of the original club kids, still goes out, still parties. So yeah, I'm inspired by people like him and Vivacious, who I mentioned a second ago. Vivacious is just a few years older than me. I'm 46, and she's got me by a few years. And she's still partying out in New York. Her vibe is very Lee Bowery, if you know who Lee Bowery is. She was on Drag Race, one of the seasons. I forget which one. We saw it the other day. And I was like, oh, who's this? She got eliminated because, in simple terms, she wanted to bring a message to the show, but she wasn't necessarily doing drag. Because if you know anything about club culture, the club kid community isn't. It's about drag, but it's not all about drag. It's about 100 different things, right? It's about artistic freedom. It's about freedom of self-expression. No matter what gender you are, it's gender bend, it's performance, it's 100 different things, right? And she wanted to bring light. She wanted to bring light to that on RuPaul, and she did. It was fine. But I think what her downfall was, she wasn't actually doing drag. And, I mean, the show is about drag. I guess you could say she brought too much Lee Bowery to RuPaul's Drag Race, I suppose. Not a bad thing, but it's a drag show. So, whatever, yeah. All that to say, yeah, I'm inspired by these people, very much so, and the fact that some of them, the club kid community hasn't gone away, it hasn't died. It's simply changed, right? Because there's Kyle Farmery out there now, Ryan Burke. This whole Suzanne Barsh is the top promoter in New York. She, I think she's outlasted fucking everybody. I saw a documentary not too long ago about what Suzanne is up to right now. It's called On Top, or maybe it was something else. I don't remember, but it was the life of Suzanne, right? And what she's doing nowadays in the New York scene. And it was an article I read. That's what it was. It was an article. And in the article, they were citing some of the clubs that she has her parties at. And we're all familiar with the idea of a super club, right? And these places are in Manhattan. And I looked them up. These places are fucking monstrous. These places are huge. Absolutely staggering venues. And this is where Suzanne's parties are held. We're talking like queens and performers and this and that, and what's her name? Amanda Lepore is still out there partying, right? You can't put that girl down. She won't go away. For all intent and purpose, a lot of the kids have settled down now. Jenny Talia is a mom now. Michelle Visage, as everyone knows, who's into rag. As everyone who's into Rag Race knows, Michelle Visage is heavily involved in that. On the panel, always sitting immediately to RuPaul's right. So, yeah. Michelle Visage is a mainstay. So that's where we're at right now. What's that show called? I found a brand... Well, I don't know... shit. Do I have my... shit. Fuck. I don't have it. God damn it. God damn it. What? Okay. Good enough. Anyway. What was I going to say? Found a new, that Netflix thing. I forgot I took Netflix off my phone, so I can't find it. It's, what's it called? I can't remember. Maybe I can find it online. See. Fuck you. Oh, for God's sake. Ah. Okay. Well, the basic synopsis is in upstate New York, there was this school, quote unquote. What was it called? The academy at Ivy Lake. The property was bordered by the St. Lawrence Seaway, which separates Quebec from Upper New York State. And it was based. There's 100 of these fucking schools out there, and what the deal is it's these fucking dizzy fucking loser parents out there who, first of all, the documentarian herself, the person who wrote this damn thing, and it's a docu-series, so it's episodic. One of her questions was, because she went into this facility in handcuffs, from her own home, while her parents just stood there. What she was wondering was, not only upon arrival, where the fuck was she, but her main question was, how did her parents find this place, right? And it's, me and my partner watch a lot of stuff like this because it's really fascinating. Hosted by this guy named Raphael. Some of you might know the show The Worst Prisons in the World, where this guy... It's much like Anthony Bourdain in Parts Unknown, where he goes around the world to different restaurants and street places and has different food and just experiences life in different parts of the world, right, as a chef. Or an explorer, rather. What was I saying? Damn it, I lost my train of thought. yeah, what Anthony Bourdain in Parts Unknown did is the same thing this Raphael did in the worst prisons or the toughest prisons in the world. Same thing, just without the food. So that was really cool. And fucking anger-inducing to watch as well. Me and my partner also watch almost any music documentary that's been filmed right now or has been filmed. We love that stuff, and it doesn't matter what style of music it is. We watch it. Religious documentaries, super churches, blah blah blah, the whole thing, right? The Secrets of Hillsong, Hell Camp. That's another kid one for these troubled kids. Hell Camp. But going back to this Netflix thing that popped onto my radar just today. They all have a common thread. It's fucking parents who basically, when facing an issue with their kid, don't know how to handle it or don't want to. So they ship them the fuck off. Usually these things are Christian based. Not all the time, but usually. And this one, what was it? I remember they were talking to one kid. His name is Quentin. And despite it's called The Program, despite the rules and regulations, of which there are many, to get through this so-called school, this Quentin, this kid, he was, along with another one, quite firm in his decision not to step in line, right? And episode 1 ends with them describing a riot that him and a few of his classmates incited in the hopes of getting this place shut down, much like a sister location did in Mexico, right? The riot didn't work. It got him sent to jail. But the girl who did the documentary, or one of the producers, asked him how he, like, what his thoughts were of being in jail. And on camera, this is fucking amazing. And it's fucking staggering how this kid is even still alive, or any of them for that matter. So when they asked him what jail was like, because he got, what, a 6-month sentence in jail for inciting that riot? He said, they said, what was jail like as compared to being at the school at Ivy Lake? And he said, I loved it. He said jail compared to that school was a 5-star hotel experience. That was episode 1. Of, I think, 5 episodes, I think they did. I'd have to look again. I could look now, but like I said, I just discovered I forgot I took Netflix off my phone. I still have Netflix, it's just not on my phone. That's all. So yeah, lots of fucking fun stuff going on. Oh my god, I've only been here for 35 minutes. Feels like much longer. Well, I can't just do a half-an-hour show, can I? There's nobody here, but a half an hour is nothing. I gotta fucking elongate this somehow, don't I? how am I doing for not relying on musical interludes to circumvent me talking? Right? How's that going for y'all? Even though I know no one's here. The only people in here are bots. Aww. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about. Oh yeah. If you're into metal, you might enjoy a documentarian by the name of and an anthropologist, by the way, Sam Dunn. He has basically made his entire career on digging into the who's, the what's, and the how comes of heavy metal, right? The W5, who, what, when, where, and why of heavy metal. And what a great job he's doing. Holy fuck. Fucking amazing, this guy. He goes to Wacken, which is in Germany, the biggest heavy metal festival on the planet. Through his evolution, or through his exploration of heavy metal, the evolution of metal is one of his episodes, and the people this gentleman talks to. I don't know how he got this access, but we were watching an episode the other night where he sat down with so and so. I forget specifically who, because he sits down with 100 people. And I looked at my partner and I said, you know what? I don't know who. It's almost like you want to say like I don't know whose dick this guy is sucking to get this access to these people. And I should say that he has been refused by a very, very select few. Like, he's been refused by less than 3 people, I think. Yeah, once you watch his material, like his journey and his adventures in the study of heavy metal and what it is and where it came from, the question, much like myself, might pop into your head: how does he get this access? Because there are fucking media and news reporters who don't get the access that he's gotten. So like I said, I don't know whose dick he's sucking to talk to the people that he's talking to. I mean, holy fuck, we're talking Rob Halford, we're talking Alice Cooper, Tom Morello, and on and on and on. I could go on, but there's too many names to mention. Rob Zombie. I think Joan Jett was in there at some point. My idol, Joan Jett. Lita Ford, I think, was sprinkled in there too with her commentary. Absolutely magic. Right? So it's on a streaming service. I don't know which one. Well, let me look it up. Oh, and by the way, he's Canadian too. Canadian boy. Metal Evolution. Available on what service? Progressive Metal. We're watching that right now. The Metal Evolution, and it's a complete. Basically, to coin a phrase, it's a mathematical and methodical breakdown of all of the 24 subgenres of heavy metal. Because, yeah, there's fucking 24 of them. Didn't know that till he said it. Available on what? Let's see. Oh, maybe. Let me do that. Where is it available? Wikipedia, YouTube. Really? It's on YouTube? No. Oh. If you can't find it on YouTube, you can find it on Amazon Prime. So there you go. There's one outlet. I suppose. You can also find it if you happen to have alternative TV viewing options. It is out there, and I promise you it's worth every second if you're a metal fan or a music fan in general. You know, fuck metal. If you are a music fan in general and like to be aware of the W5, who, what, when, where, why, look up Sam Dunn's work. Canadian documentarian. No, he didn't fucking tell me to say that. No one tells me to say anything. Running out of things to say. Oh, you know what? In his adventures, he speaks to Dina Feinstein, who's a sociologist, a few times. He speaks to her a little bit in the show, and I was like, wow, a sociological approach to why people behave toward metal and behave in the culture, or the scene rather, how they do. Right? I've never heard of such an approach. It was interesting. So I was like, okay, I want to find out more of this Dina Feinstein. She not only is she a sociologist, but she's also an author. And I want her fucking book. Very badly. Anyway, this is what day is this? Thursday. I'm gonna get out of here. Only had a few things to talk to you about anyway. Back to work tomorrow for the weekend. Hopefully I'll make it through the entire weekend. We shall see. We shall see. Pick up my prescription tomorrow for my new arthritis dope. See how that goes. So yeah, working for the next 3-day stretch, whatever. Anyway. That's it. We'll see you next week, kids.